What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Blazers Uprise postgame show presented by Mojo Fantasy. The Blazers today lose to the Utah Jazz in their second in-season tournament game by a final score of 115-99. The Blazers fall to 1-1 on in-season tournament play. I had you covered with the live watch party as we went through a game, Eric, where the Blazers would get down double digits, cut it to 3 or 4, get down to double digits, cut it to 3 or 4, get down double digits, cut to 3 or 4. It just literally rinse and repeat, where it's like they're fighting uphill, trying to climb uphill, trying to come back in this game, would go on runs, and then like clockwork, every time they cut it close, it was immediately a run for the Utah Jazz, who were led by Jordan Clarkson, who cooked the Blazers tonight. You also had a solid game from Lauri Markkanen, let me see here. Clarkson finished with 30 points, 13 for 19. I said in my pregame video, Eric, he's been struggling all season. Very inefficient. But he's the type of guy that cooks the Blazers, and he cooked the Blazers tonight. You got Lauri Markkanen, 21 for the Jazz. Off the bench, Colin Sexton, 13. Keontae George, 15 in the starting lineup for the rookie, and 7 assists for him. He had a good game. So the Blazers comes down to offense. 99 points on the board. Failed to reach triple digits. Eric, what are your initial takeaways from this game?
Just the offensive breakdowns in the fourth quarter are just crazy. We lost that game. Forgot what game it was, but where the team went on a 26-2 run to end the game against us. Was that the second Memphis game, maybe? Mm-hmm. One of those games there. Yeah, just pathetic. So 11:01 left in this game. Skylar Mays makes a lay-in to make it 93-95, and we get outscored 20-6 the rest of the way. The last 11 minutes, we score 6 points in 11 minutes after that.
Yep. 6 points in 11 minutes. Bro, I mean, we're 10 games in. We have like 5 fourth quarter stretches similar to that. Like, I don't know what it is in fourth quarters. Our offense just completely falls apart. And it's like, we can sit here and say, oh, well, look at all the guys they're missing. Well, it doesn't explain them being able to put 93 on the board in the first 3 quarters and then going basically for 6 points in the final period. I mean, they had 7 points quickly to start that fourth period. Like, nothing excuses 6 points in 11 minutes, man, to end a game. Like, if that's the case, then they should be scoring 30 points per game if it's just due to talent. It's not. This is a similar problem that we saw last year. It's a similar problem that we saw earlier this season when we were healthy, and it's a similar problem now. Now, the team has more of an excuse because of the guys who are out, but this problem seems to supersede everything, where it's just like, for whatever reason, our Portland Trail Blazers just have the most insane fourth quarter lulls, no matter who is in, no matter who is out.
Yeah, I don't know who stood out to you performance-wise in this game.
I mean, in terms of good or bad?
Good.
Like,
anyone?
Ayton and Grant, both 10 for 17. Like, both those guys were efficient, right? Ayton shot free throws today, Eric. Round of applause. Chat, if you're at home, clap your hands, because Ayton shot free throws today, his 4th and 5th free throws on the season in his 10th game, so good for him.
Do you think he would have gotten free throws if they challenged that play?
I don't know. That play that he got free throws on, he like went up soft too. Like, he could have dunked it and he went up soft. He did have a play later in this game where he dunked in traffic, and it was like, yeah. Please do that more, man. Yeah. God, I sound like Suns fans, where it's like Ayton just shoots all this finesse stuff, and then occasionally he'll be like, oh, I'm dominating. That's right. I'm a physical freak. And then just dunk on like 3 people with 3 people around him. And I remember Suns fans last year, you know, Gabe especially, watching his stuff, where it'd be like, oh my God, look at that Ayton dunk. Why doesn't he do that more? If only he could do that more. And he had one of those plays like that today, so I guess that's a good thing. I don't know, you know, it's just like he hit some shots. It seemed like we were running more design stuff for him. Grant, 10 for 17 as well, 3 for 6. Like, those guys were the front court that we're paying for. We're paying them $60 million a year combined. So Grant, 26 points in 27 minutes efficiently. Ayton, 22, 10, and 3 in 34 minutes. Like, those guys showed up at least. Nobody else really did, but those guys showed up.
Well, everything but Ayton's hands showed up.
Dude, that dude, next offseason, because this offseason, I said this on the stream, He shot threes apparently this past offseason and worked on threes more than anything. He hasn't shot a single 3 in 10 games this year. Okay. Next offseason, he just needs to catch 10,000 tennis balls a day. He just needs to work on his hands because his hands were pretty brutal in this game.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. Ayton, he had some really good moments in this game. He crashed the offensive boards in the first half. He was pretty good switching on defense in this game. But Walker Kessler doesn't play. They're starting Collins and Markkanen. They have, Olynyk off the bench, who's decent, but I mean, Ayton should have a matchup advantage there as well. But all but one time in the post, a post early in the second half on Markkanen where he got good position, turned to the middle, and had an easy little flip shot. Almost every other time he went to a fadeaway or a fade hook, and when he had a clear advantage in the post. And that stuff just drives me crazy. I don't know if you're ready to bring it up yet, but I have an example of this for my one breakdown today. So whenever you're ready for that, just let me know.
We'll bring it up in a couple of minutes.
Yeah. But he hardly ever spins towards the hoop or drop steps, and that stuff. It's like LaMarcus Aldridge used to do this too, and Aldridge would score, 22 points a game and be really good, but it's like you could get an easy basket or two every game if you just did a drop step, once in a while. So that, as a watcher of the bigs in a lot of these games, that kind of stuff drives me crazy. How everything is mid-range fadeaways, tough angles and stuff, and he was hitting them tonight, so it doesn't look as bad. But I felt like we should have played through him more this game because he had some nice kickouts. He had a nice high-low pass from the top of the post to Jeremy. I thought he played pretty well, but yeah, I feel like we should have just ran everything through him, especially when it was obvious that Sharpe wasn't going to be able to provide a ton for us in the second half with how tired he was. You're muted.
Okay, my bad. We have to have a deep conversation on Shaedon Sharpe later on in this stream because he just looks gassed and is playing too many minutes. But Ayton, he's just an enigma. He's a solid player that could be much better if he had the right mindset and took the ball strong. It's just it's been clear for years that he, it could be better if he tried to dominate, basically. He shoots a lot of finesse stuff and he can hit them. He has good touch. So you sit there and look at some of the shots he shoots and it's wow, look at them hit those mid ranges. Look at him hit those shots. But at the end of the day, it's man, this dude could be dominant if he just went strong. He could live at the free throw line. He can knock down free throws, So it's just basically that enigma where he's a physically dominant big that plays finesse, is exactly what he was for Phoenix, and is exactly what he's been for Portland. In a game like this, don't really have complaints. Kind of knew what you're getting into. It's just I feel like he could justify being on the max contract because we had this deep conversation last game. If he just was more aggressive, and you'll see flashes of it, and it'll look dominant.
The dunk, yeah.
Like that dunk he had. And it'll look great in traffic, right? And then it just kind of disappears for a while. So, no complaints when he's hitting his shots. It's just man, this is another game where it's man, I wish he just take the ball strong, especially when you got John Collins guarding you, Kelly Olynyk guarding you, Lauri Markkanen guarding you. Should be trying to dunk on those guys every time down low. And it's kind of the same complaints we had or other people had with Yusuf Nurkic, but I said with Nurk, I don't think he's physically capable of dunking in situations where a lot of people wanted him to dunk. With with Ayton, it's man, he could legitimately have 3-4 dunks a game if he just took the ball strong. He could dunk on people. He's so freaking big and athletic and skilled, and it just Feels like he holds him back for some reason. But, you know, in this particular game, that's kind of like a big picture thing. That's basically Ayton as a player. In this particular game, he was good because he knocked down his finesse shots. Like, this comes down to, is he knocking down his finesse shots or not? And today he did. So, good game for him.
Yeah, I know, I mean, obviously DA's not Shaq or Dwight Howard or close to those guys, but those guys would, like, if they had a guy in the post who they felt like they were athletically superior or bigger than, they would just try to dunk on them every time. And they had no real moves other than to try to get to the rim. All their moves were designed to get to the rim and try to dunk as hard as possible. And I feel like if Ayton just had that mindset, he would have been unstoppable in a game like this and probably scores 40 points. But like, it's just like, he just doesn't have that attacking mindset when he gets the ball. And it's fine. Like, if he's hitting shots, like, he can still be effective. I'm not saying like he was bad or anything in this game by any stretch of the imagination. But yeah, it's just you watch. That's why the dunk is so surprising, though. It's like,
yeah,
like, you're not expecting him to go up and do that because he never really does it that often. So, yeah, just I wish he had that mindset to just attack the rim in a game like this.
Blazer fans, Ayton dunked a lot with the Suns. Well, he did have Chris Paul feeding him, but I mean, Suns fans complained constantly about how Ayton wasn't dunking enough, or, you know, should be dunking more. Like, these are the same complaints the Suns fans had. I mean, this is just basically who he is. And yeah, it's just, I don't know. I want him to be as good as possible, and I feel like if he was more aggressive and took the ball stronger, he could be a much more legitimate, like, high-level scorer. Because it's tough to rely upon, like, the shots he hit tonight. It's tough to rely on those to fall consistently, especially as a big man. Shots at the rim, getting to the free throw line, it's a little bit more easy to consistently rely upon those. So those are my thoughts on Ayton. Do you want to cue up that play now or later?
Yeah, do it, because it's about Ayton.
Okay.
So.
Shout out to Brandon Tennis with the $2 donation if you want to read that while I cue it.
Sure, let me bring it up.
And we got a Sam Dooley member message. Good old Sam is in here. Let's go.
Braden Tennis with the $2 donation. Super happy Walker and 2 were hitting their threes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Walker 2 for 3 tonight. Tamani 2 for 4. So nice to see them hit some threes finally. We talked about that last game. They just have to be able to at least knock that down occasionally. I thought Walker was phenomenal tonight. His hustle, especially in the fourth quarter there, diving on a ball to get a steal, and then a couple minutes later getting an offensive rebound that most players probably wouldn't get just by hustling, and was making some good moves, playing some good defense. Of course, crashing the boards, had finished with 12 and 8. I thought this was one of his best games of his career tonight, and provided some really nice minutes for us. And then Sam Dooley with the member for 12-month message. Will Chauncey be able to teach this team how to win? I don't know if that's the goal necessarily, to teach them how to win, especially with all the injuries. But yeah, I don't know if he'll be able to teach that. I'm still hesitant to say that Chauncey can really do anything as a coach, because he hasn't proven that he can do anything yet. So I'm still hopeful that maybe Chauncey can find a way to coach these guys up and they look better as the year goes on. But yeah, as of right now, I don't have any faith of that happening, but would be happily surprised.
Yep. Let's take a look at this play.
All right.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow.
This is just 2 pictures. So this is an example of what I'm talking about with Ayton. So he seals to the inside, has Olynyk on his back. This is him catching the ball with his left hand. Skylar puts it right in the perfect position. All he has to do is drop his right foot towards Olynyk, seal him, and go up and dunk. And Olynyk either has to foul him or he's got an easy dunk. And so I don't understand what is going through his mind when he catches the ball like this, why he's not turning and going right to the rim, but he doesn't seem to turn that way towards the hoop. He always tries to go to the middle. And then if you see the second picture, you'll see that this is the shot he ends up taking. With that position, he ends up going all the way to the middle of the key, back into Olynyk, and taking a tough shot that rims out. And, I mean, he can hit this shot, of course, but it's just an example of him making it so much harder to score, and he's talented enough to make a good percentage of these shots anyway. But like, he could be getting much more easier shots throughout the game just by reading where the defense is and not just predetermining where you're going to go with the ball before catching it. And when you have a seal like that, I just don't understand sealing someone behind you like that and then turning into him back to the middle.
Yep. I mean, this is just showcasing a specific thing because we got to do it in chess. Saying, well, you show all his face-up shots. Why do we need to break down him just standing there and then shooting a mid-range? This specific play is a great example of like him having an opportunity to get to the rim and dunk and not taking it, which is just like, you know, this shot is going to be less efficient than if he just drop steps and dunks, you know? So it's a specific point. Like, we know he can shoot face-up jumpers. We know he can shoot mid-range. That's not the point about Ayton. The point is he has that ability, and then if he also knew when to take the ball strong, knew when to attack the rim, knew when to go and finish, he would be a really, really freaking amazing player. He would be worth the max contract. And in this sort of situation, it's a perfect example of the latter half of that equation, where he needs to just literally just drop step like most bigs would and just go strong and dunk. And he just kind of like settles for that right-handed hook, you know, kind of fading away too, like he's stepping away from the rim. Look, he's like down near the restricted circle, down near the block, and look where he finishes, like he's going away from the basket. So, you know, that's just where, I don't know, like that's kind of, those are the reasons why he was drafted number 1 overall, but then hasn't really like lived up to it. He can make these shots. That's not really the point. The point is, I wish he would just go stronger in situations where he has the opportunity like this one. So
for the people saying we're being negative for the second straight stream on Ayton,
it's constructive. It's constructive. People don't know what constructive stuff is. That's it.
This is my point. Look how close he is to being that dominating player. He had the right seal. He had the right position, but his tendency is to turn back to the middle. Like I don't understand why. I'm literally trying to tell you guys he is capable of being that player that some of you in chat think he is, right? Like, I'm trying to illustrate why I get frustrated with Ayton and why I'm like not just like praising every single thing he did tonight, because he should have scored 30 tonight. He would have easily had an awesome game, and he would have or should have like dominated. And then we have people in here telling us, well, it's because he doesn't get the ball too often enough in the post, or he doesn't get enough looks. Well, if you're a guard and you're giving it to Ayton in perfect position to go up and dunk, and he ruins your assist by turning back into the defense and taking a horrible shot, like that leads you to not necessarily want to pass it to him the next time. Or if he fumbles the ball like he did like 5 times in this game, like that also makes it tough to like continually try to feed him in the post or wherever. So it's not. I mean, I started off by saying he had a really good game. It's just like I feel like he could take it to the next level. It's right there for him to do so. I'm hoping he figures this out because I think he really could dominate a game like this.
Yeah, some of the comments I have is baffling. One is from Taylor Packer, who says, you haven't praised a single thing, even though you said he had a great game. One is from Blazer Fan, who says, don't pass him to him there. Pass it to him at the free throw line. So our super athletic 7-footer, we should never give him the ball within the free throw line. That's the optimal thing. Like, you know, it's a constructive thing. Like, people just take any sort of thing where like he could be better at this as like a negative. He could be great. If I'm you know, I want him to want to be great. I want him to see this and be like, I should go strong. You know, but that's just the thing. The thing with Ayton, man, is he'll have good games. He is a good player. The thing is, we traded for a dude on a max contract, I assume with the hopes that he could become a great player. So when there's opportunities for him to elevate his game, they need to be discussed. He needs to learn. He needs to improve. Because he's still young. That was a big point of trading for Ayton, is people said he's still young, he still has time to learn. Okay, well, in a game like this where he's 10 for 17 and has a good game, there's still going to be learning opportunities. Eric's just showcasing one of them, and it's a constructive opportunity. He could be physically dominant, and we see flashes of it. I said he had a great physically dominant dunk in this game, So it's just people take that as like negativity, and it's just kind of baffling to me. So
I also said he had 2 nice passes in this game. But anyways, we literally have someone telling us in chat that we shouldn't have our 7-foot center who's super athletic seal his guy behind him and have our point guard pass into a perfect position where all he has to do is catch and go right up and dunk the ball. We shouldn't do that. Are you kidding me? What are we doing, chat? Come on. Like, be better than that. Like, don't sit here calling us out when you're saying that we should not have a perfect pass to a sealed big man right at the basket. We should instead tell him to go stand at the free throw line and only pass it to him if he's at the free throw line. Get out of here with that crap, dude. Like, that is ridiculous. And then you have the right to sit here and criticize us, man. Come on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, so that's the thing is there's another comment. He had a dominant dunk that was past him at the hoop. He didn't have to move his feet. Bro, I mean, he's athletic. He should be able to take a couple of steps when he catches the ball with a lane and dunk. That's kind of what I've just been talking about. And, it's if he wasn't capable of being great, we wouldn't be having this conversation. You know what I mean? It's because he is physically capable of being dominant. That's why we were having this conversation. It's because he has that ability. He has that potential. Okay. So
I'm not going to speak for Torrey, but Taylor Packer, you're being ridiculous right now. I have said multiple times that Ayton was winning me over this season, and I've enjoyed watching him play. I don't hate him. I hated his effort in the fourth quarter of a close game last game. I feel like that is absolutely something that a player should get killed for in the NBA, for giving that lackadaisical of an effort on a play 3 times in one play. And I do believe he should have dominated this game more. I completely agree. I completely believe that. But this isn't some agenda against Ayton for me personally. I have actually thought Ayton has had some really good things, and he's been better at passing than I thought he was. His defense has been really good this year when he's been engaged. He actually did a really good job when he had to switch on guards tonight. And he was by far the least of our problems on defense, with the amount of times players like Sharpe and Thibault fell asleep in this game off ball. But yeah, I really think he could have been much better tonight, even though he had a really good game.
Yeah, I mean, we want him. He is capable of being great, and we want him to be great, not just good. If we say that, people think we're making it out like he sucks. Even if we say he had a great game and did good things in this game and made shots and has touch, like, we can sit here and pepper him with as many good, positive comments as possible, but basically becomes a thing where, because we want him to be great, if he has a good game, we can't say we want him to be great. We can't say there is an area, there's areas for him to improve, even in a good game like this, that he is capable of improving in. We can't say that, apparently, according to some people. So it becomes an agenda. Even though, I haven't sit here criticizing him. I said I didn't want him all last year, and then we made this trade. I said that the Ayton part of the trade was a win. You take a chance on this dude, like, evolving his game. But that's the thing. I want to see him evolve his game. And that's kind of the point of the conversation. So it's literally that simple. I'm not hating on him. I'm not attacking him. It's constructive stuff. Like, don't know what else you want from us, but that's fine. Like, we can move on from Ayton and we can talk about other players, but I think that was a great play to just kind of showcase where, like, he had a great game in this game, but that's a play where, like, if he's just drop stepping and dunking like he should and like he's capable of doing, he could have been even better, but he's not like the problem in this game, and people always look at, oh, what's the problem? Talk about the problem. I mean, the Blazers lose this game because of the lack of, talent they have. Jamari Bouye being terrible in this game doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. He's not a future part of this team, most likely. Okay. Like the Blazers being super sloppy, Duop Reith having a bad game, doesn't matter.
Reith and Bouye were terrible, but yeah, I mean...
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Like, that stuff does not matter. Ayton being as good of a player as he can possibly be matters. Matters. Like, Ayton wasn't the problem tonight. The problem was we're having to play Duop Reith and Jamari Bouye, but those guys in the long run don't matter, you know? It's more big picture thinking here with Ayton, and just wanting him to take opportunities to just take the ball strong and actually make better use of them.
I mean, this is more, we pointed out how seemingly some of our best players shouldn't be two-way guys or Skylar Mays or whatever. Like, we should have players that make that look like they're not our best players. And tonight, thankfully, they didn't look like our best players, because it would have been very troublesome if they came in for a second straight game and outperform some of the other players that were in the rotation. Yeah, I mean, those guys, both two-way players. Bouye's been in this, around the team for 3 days or something. And Reith this was the second NBA game. But it's really tough because we put Reith in the second unit, and Markin and Olynyk are in, and Chauncey's got Jabari guarding Olynyk, and he's telling Reith to guard Lauri Markkanen. So in your second NBA game, when you're a slow-footed, big man, undersized, you're supposed to guard one of the best players in the league. It's just, that's tough. I didn't understand those matchups in that stretch, and then he did it again in the second half. I mean, Olynyk's a tough matchup for Reith as well, but it's a lot better than him trying to guard Markkanen, and I felt like Walker could have done a better job on Lauri. And then, so they both get going and stuff, and it's frustrating to me because, like, I feel like we shoot ourselves in the foot so many times, whether it be coaching things or players turning the ball over. Sharpe again with some really lazy moments with the ball, not taking care of it. Silly cross-court passes into traffic. Just players losing the ball for no reason. Like, it feels like anytime they touch the paint with the ball, they just like automatically lost it at points in this game. So it's just, to me, it's frustrating when people say, you know, well, what do you expect? The Blazers suck and they should lose every game this year because they don't have the talent. But it's like, I don't know, they've been playing well enough outside of certain things to win some of these games. They've been in a lot of games. It's been close at times in a lot of games to them figuring it out. And it's just kind of frustrating that they shoot themselves in the foot so many times.
Yep, absolutely. Sloppy play was frustrating. Some of the turnovers were frustrating. If you're trying to make a play and you're drawing multiple defenders and trying to kick it out and it gets tipped, that's one thing. When It's just like throwing it directly to a defender, jump passing, like losing the ball out of bounds, there's just like a difference in terms of high turnover games where you're like trying to make plays happen and you're like trying to make the right decision and maybe just the pass is a little offline or this or that, compared to just some of like the turnovers we had where we weren't even making a play. Like, we were trying to make an entry pass into the offense and we travel. We like dribble past Ayton and then try and toss it back to him around the 3-point line where he's not even going to do anything with the ball and it gets picked off. Like, the sloppiness of this game was a bit frustrating because of the way in which the team turned over the ball. Because most of the time when you're trying to make a play and you might get some turnovers out of that, sometimes you'll actually make the play and good things will happen, and in the course you hope that it balances out. When you're turning over the ball just out of sloppiness where you're not even trying to make a play, there is no upside to that. It's just straight up sloppy. So for me, like, not every 17 turnover game is the same. You can't just say, oh, they had 17 turnovers today. You know, that's a lot of turnovers, like, so they were sloppy. Like, sometimes it'll be out of trying to do the right thing or trying to do good things versus just being downright sloppy.
Yeah. And then speaking of turnovers, bad turnovers, so Bouye has a fast break. And who does he have streaking down the other side, wide open for a lob? It's Shaedon Sharpe in the first half. And to that point, Bouye had looked to pass like every time he had a shot. He'd only shot if he had to. And he chooses that moment to try to score or whatever and gets an offensive foul. He could have easily lobbed it to Sharpe there. And then we had several other I stopped counting after 4. We had Sharpe wide open on lobs on fast breaks, and we, for some reason, I forgot who it was. Who was it? Mays or was it someone else? I think this one was Mays. He's got Reith going down the right with a guy going towards Reith, and he's got Sharpe on his left with no defender, and he decides to throw it behind Reith. It's a tough catch for a big man to catch. But you've got freaking Shaedon Sharpe on your left. Just freaking give him the ball and get out of the way. There was so many times in this game we could have gotten an easy 2 for Sharpe if we would have just lobbed him the ball. It's I don't understand why people aren't looking for him on those lobs in those situations. That should be the first thing you'd look for, is where's Sharpe if you're on a fast break.
Yeah, 1,000%. I think Brogdon and Simons will make those passes more than the two-way G League guys we have. But Mays played with Sharpe a ton last year when they were tanking. And Mays knows how to pass. Right. So when Mays does it, it's baffling. Jamari Bouye, it's bro, you are 6 feet tall at best, maybe, and you're going up against an NBA level athlete that's bigger than you, and it's a 2-on-1, and you got maybe the best vertical leaper in the league to your right. You're a point guard. It's a basic calculation, man. It's a basic calculation, and to calculate it that poorly is just frustrating, man. Just frustrating. So got to throw more lobs to Sharpe. His efficiency would look better if we were feeding him a little bit better on plays like that. But Sharpe is gassed.
Bruce asked how many minutes would be good for Sharpe, you think?
Not 44 minutes a game. So I was on my watch party, and this dude was trying to argue with me that Sharpe needs to play 44 minutes a game. Okay, after he made that argument, Sharpe sat for a couple minutes, and he was like, look, the Utah lead grew because Sharpe was out of the game for a couple minutes. And I was like, okay, well, let's see what happens when he comes back in. Sharpe comes in, misses 2 free throws, misses a layup. It was a good hustle play to get the offensive rebound, so whatever. Mm-hmm. But he misses a layup. He misses a 3 brutally short. He falls asleep on defense. He has never played starter level minutes in the NBA. He's playing the most minutes per game in the entire freaking league. He played 41 minutes today in a game we lost by 16. Here's the thing. Part of the reason the Blazers have had offensive lows the past couple seasons under Chauncey Billups is because we have stretches where we play our star players way too many minutes, and by the time the fourth quarter rolls around, they are gassed. That is part of the reason why we have so many fourth quarter lows, is because we overplay players. And I understand that if you're really trying to win this game, you're going to play Sharpe a bunch of minutes, but it's why is Skylar Mays only playing 31 minutes and Jamari Bouye playing 17 then, when Jamari Bouye was awful in this game? Why aren't you running Skylar Mays into the ground then? Why is it only Shaedon Sharpe? That part doesn't really make sense to me, because you're not really going all out to win. If you're going all out to win, you would have played Skylar Mays more. Skylar Mays was a +1 in his 31 minutes. Jamari Bouye in his 17 minutes was a -17. So it's you would have given Mays more than 31 minutes a game if you were really trying to go all out to win the game. But no, with Mays, it's no, we'll throw Jamari Bouye out there to struggle, but we're going to run Sharpe into the ground. It just doesn't make sense. If you're... I don't agree with running players into the ground, but if you're going to do it, you might as well do it all out and try and win, right? Otherwise, just don't freaking play Sharpe 41 minutes if you're going to play Skylar Mays 31 minutes because you're going to play Jamari Bouye 17 and lose the game in Jamari Bouye's 17 minutes. It just doesn't make sense. Sharpe is playing way too many minutes. His performance in the fourth quarter suffered. I thought you could visibly tell that he was gassed. And people say, oh, well, he's 20, he's young. He doesn't know the ins and outs of playing starters minutes in an NBA season. He averaged 22 minutes a game last year. He didn't play even through a rigorous college season. He went from high school to the NBA, held up pretty well last year playing 22 minutes a game, and now you're throwing him out there for 40 minutes a game. And you're not even winning these games. And he's getting gassed. I thought it was very obvious down the stretch. Mm-hmm. So it's just poor coaching, and it's part of the reason why I said the common denominator with these fourth quarter lulls, at some point you have to look at Chauncey because it spans through multiple rosters. So what is the common theme if the players are different? The common theme is how much the top players on the team are being utilized and ran into the ground. I think it's that simple. I think that maybe doesn't explain all of the fourth quarter lulls, but I do think that is a major part in it.
And we also play tomorrow, so like we have to at some point think about that as well. But I talk about this with Dame all the time, right? Why is he playing the first 12 minutes and then only sitting like a couple minutes into the second quarter, and then you're bringing him right back in the second quarter? Like at some point in the first half of these games, you have to let other players figure it out, and you have to get him his like a normal amount of rest in the first half. And then if you need, like if it's a close game, then maybe you can play him a little bit more than you would in the second half. That's fine. But when you play him too much in the first half, then if it's a close game in the second half and you have to rush him back in, then he's automatically going to play 40 plus minutes because you didn't give him any rest in the first half. So I think, especially right now when we have all these guys injured, it's like if we get blown out in a game, that's fine. Then he doesn't have to play that much in the second half or whatever. But if we manage to keep it close, he shouldn't be playing in the first half that much, and then we can figure it out in the second half. But he should be averaging like 36, maybe 37 minutes a game. I don't think anyone should play more than that in the NBA right now. Mm-hmm. And I think that's more than enough time to get your reps in and all that kind of stuff. We had that argument about 17 versus 27 minutes last game. But this like 36 to 44, like that's, I mean, there's a certain point where you're doing more harm than good by playing a player tired. Mm-hmm. And that is possibly, like last year, for sure, this was the case. You will never change my mind on that. When you run players into the ground, it leads to some of these injuries that we've seen, whether it's a muscle injury like a hamstring or a calf or something like that, or, some of these more serious injuries. I feel like at some point when they're tired, like Sharpe looked in the fourth quarter, that opens you up to get hurt easier. And I feel like there's no real point in it when we all know that even if we come back and win this game, it's not like it's going to turn our season around or something at this point. We either are going to get healthy and maybe go on a run at some point this season, or it's just going to be a lost season due to the injuries anyway. So I would much rather not have Sharpe get seriously hurt long term, like Anthony and Scoot have already gotten hurt. So I'd much rather just play him a normal amount.
Well, you look at Malcolm Brogdon as a great example, right? The first 5 games of the season, right? He's healthy, right? He plays 23 minutes, 31, 26, 29, 25, okay? Then, the next 3 games, 44 minutes, 39 minutes, and then the third game, 5 minutes, gets injured, basically right at the start of the game, and it's a pulled hamstring. Like, that's... Can you specifically prove that it's due to him playing 44 and 39 minutes the 2 games before that? No, but it is interesting how he's fine, and then a couple of games his minutes go up to 39 and 44, and then he's hurt with a pulled muscle.
Well, if you ask Madden Mobile, he did have an injury due to playing too much in a previous game that they kept secret and played him anyway and got hurt right away.
Yeah, I don't know how Madden Mobile knows that, but I mean, he was saying that literally like right before he played in the Kings game and got hurt. So credit to Madden Mobile, like he was saying that literally right before the game Malcolm Brogdon got hurt in. So what's the other common denominator? All our players get freaking hurt. All our players get hurt. Now, some of it, like Robert Williams, I don't think it's due to him overplaying.
No.
It's just him being injury prone, so not all of them are the organization's fault, but at some point, when all our players always get hurt, you have to look at what's the common denominator. Anthony, his first game of the season, it was like a fluke play, right? So that's not on Anthony. Scoot was a sprained ankle. It's hard to blame that on fatigue. It's just like, at some point, you see Dame with the calf last year, like Ant with a couple of his injuries in the past, Malcolm Brogdon being out right now. Like, this type of overuse leads to injuries. It doesn't always lead to injuries. It's not guaranteed, okay? And sometimes you have fluke plays that guys get hurt just because of the play, not because they've been overutilized, but you do increase chance of injury when you play dudes 40 minutes a game. So you look at two common themes over multiple variations of rosters where you have fourth quarter lulls and you have players getting injuries that can maybe be attributed to overuse. And then you look at how many minutes Chauncey plays guys for stretches, and I think that is definitely a reason for both of them. And it's a problem. And the problem, you know what is even more frustrating, Eric, is it's a compounding problem. Because a guy gets hurt, and then it's like, oh, we have to rely even more upon these other dudes. Mm-hmm. So then we're going to play, Anthony Simons and Scoot Henderson hurt. We're going to play Malcolm Brogdon more. And then Malcolm Brogdon gets hurt. And it's like, oh my goodness, why are all our players getting hurt? Because it's a compounding problem. It's a compounding problem. And the problem is I feel like during these stretches where we're overplaying guys like this, most of the time we're losing. Most of the time we are losing game after game after game, and we're not even freaking benefiting off of it. So what's the point? What's the purpose? It's just stupid. It's freaking, like, the more I think about it on this postgame show, the more it is starting to seriously piss me off. The way that Chauncey runs guys into the ground.
Yeah, I mean, part of it is in his defense, he doesn't have a lot of options, I guess. But like you said, I mean, I don't know. You got to find a way to make it work. And I just...
Here's the thing. Here's my rebuttal to that. Okay, Skylar Mays can play NBA minutes.
Yeah,
he can absolutely play NBA minutes.
I mean, he played 31.
Yeah, but you look at the game where Malcolm Brogdon played 44 minutes. How many minutes does Skylar Mays play? 15. 15. He should be playing like 23, 24. Malcolm Brogdon should be playing like 35, 36. Now, the game did go into OT, but... so it was kind of a product of the game. But it's like, you sit here saying, like, if you sit here saying, like, oh, well, he doesn't have many options. I mean, Skylar Mays can play some basketball. He's playing 15 minutes a game when Malcolm Brogdon is playing 44. Like,
well, there was that game where, Sharpe was averaging almost 40 minutes a game, not starting game one. And then he fouled out at the end of the Sacramento game, didn't play in the overtime. So that's 5 more minutes he would have for sure played in that game. So, like, I don't know. Especially with Sharpe, that's crazy, dude. Like, and they've been showing stats, and it's been all over social media and stuff. It's like, these type of minutes haven't been played in the NBA in over a decade. Like, there hasn't been a single player that's played this many minutes in a decade. So I don't understand why they think that's the right course of action right now. And a guy like Justin Minaya, right, on a two-way, I mean, he's not great, but he's going to come in and play his butt off when he's in the game. Like, he can give you some minutes, and just, like, you're not going to get, like, a lack of effort from him. He's going to play solid defense and fly around the court. So, like, play him, like, 10 minutes or something and get someone some rest. Like, it makes no sense. So that is an option they have. Like, Rupert, like, freaking just throw him in there. And Chris Murray, let him play 5-10 minutes and see if he can get going at some point and learn how to play in the NBA. And I know you don't want to.
If you lose, you lose. You're already losing.
We lost by 16 anyway. You know what I mean?
Because we can't score in the fourth quarter because all our guys are tired. So it's like, I would have much rather. Even if Rupert comes in, Eric, and like sucks, if he's giving Sharpe needed rest, and then Sharpe is better in the fourth quarter, repair playing and sucking doesn't hurt your chances of winning if you're getting Sharpe rest that he needs.
Yeah. Javon also brings up Ish Wainwright. Why do we claim him off waivers if we don't even play him in this freaking game outside of 2 minutes of garbage time, right? Like, just throw the guy in for a few minutes. Like, you claimed him off waivers for a reason, right? Like let him play a few minutes. Like, I know he's going to give effort out there too. I mean, he's not the best player either, but he can spell a guy for 5 minutes or whatever. Like, I just don't get it.
Bro, what is this callback? Are you guys looking at yourselves or chat? I'm looking at game logs. How do you think I'm bringing you this information if I'm not looking at game logs, bro? Come on, chat. Yeah, so...
I just watch myself the whole stream.
Yeah, you just stare at yourself. Yeah. You just check yourself out on the stream. Like, damn, look at me. I'm Eric Brandt. I'm looking good.
All I care about is how I look on stream.
Yeah, man.
It's so obvious with the way I present myself.
Oh man, that's funny. Yeah, like I'm looking at that. I'm looking to see how many rebounds Anthony Edwards has. Because I don't even think I need him to come through with that. But anyway, go on.
For the record, I can't see Tori on Skype, so I can only see him on stream. So it's good to like actually see someone, even though it's a delayed reaction. Yeah. Like I sometimes watch you on stream, Tori, because I'm trying to see what your tone is or whatever when you're talking.
Yeah.
And then I have, unlike you usually bring chat up on your phone, right? But I
bring it up on my computer.
So I have it right on my computer. So yeah, I'm looking right, pretty much where my camera is, right at the chat. Yep.
I want to get a second monitor. So I can have chat up while I'm looking through game logs while I have stream. Like I want to have chat up at all times. It would be sick to have a second monitor for chat, but that costs some money. So we'll see. Hopefully soon I have a second monitor, but yeah. So Chauncey gotta stop running players on the ground, bro. But he won't. It's part of the reason I'm just kind of all out on Chauncey. I'm just kind of done with Chauncey. So,
it's also I lost my train of thought, but I just this season it's not, because people are gonna say, like they were in your stream earlier, that what's the problem? You wanted these guys to get as many minutes as possible, right? But there is a point where it's not healthy to play that many minutes, especially with a guy who relies on athleticism and stuff. Because if he pulls even if it's not like a serious injury or anything, but if his hamstring tightens up or something like Brogdon's did, that could really affect his game, because it's so athletically based, and so you just don't want those things, and then they can linger for seasons if they don't get ever corrected or he gets enough time to rest. And we can't really afford to rest Sharpe right now for like 2 weeks with a hamstring injury either. So we need to make sure we're taking care of this guy too, and think about long term as well.
100% agree. 1000% agree. Chat, what do you guys think? You want to go around the NBA? It's in season tournament day. We'll go a little bit earlier.
Sure.
Pelicans beat the Mavericks 131-110. Brandon Ingram 25 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists. The Pelicans get back on track. The Mavericks fall to 8-3. Tough game for Luka, 5 for 16. Quiet game for him. Had 8 turnovers as well. Only played 26 minutes, which was that due to injury or was that designed? Because I'm looking at their box score and it's like they had 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 players play 11 minutes or more.
I think they were like the fourth quarter, because they outscored, the Dallas outscored New Orleans in the fourth quarter. I think they were down like 30 at one point and just called them off. So they didn't play much in the fourth quarter. I think that's what it was.
Got you. We just need to get blown out by more. I guess.
Yeah. All those dang comebacks to 4 points in this game was
I know, dude. Crazy. Yeah, God, like, and you know that the other team is about to go on a run when they do that, and it's like, I literally called multiple runs throughout that game. We're like, not the Pelicans, the Jazz are going to go on a run now. Because, we cut it to 3, cut it to 4, so it's kind of frustrating. But as far as the box score in this game, Jordan Hawkins has been playing some solid basketball. He had 25 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 8 for 17 from the field, 5 for 12 from 3. Man, it'd be nice just to have a pure shooter,
Man, imagine when they get Trey Murphy back, too. Hawkins and Murphy spacing the floor.
Yeah.
That's going to be nice.
It's going to be real nice. So they've been without some guys. They got Cody Zeller on their team. They got Cody Zeller playing 5 minutes. Good to see Cody Zeller is in the league. I don't remember cutting him. Wait, we cut Zeller? That's an inside joke. As far as other games that are final, Thunder beat the Spurs 123-87. This was a battle between Chet and Wemby. Chet, 3 for 10, 9 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, a block, so kind of a ho-hum game for him. But he was a plus 30, team high. Wemby, 4 for 15, had 8 points, 14 rebounds, 2 assists, a couple of blocks, 0 for 3 from 3, so Wemby's struggling. Like, you see these rookies, big struggling, like Wemby had his big game against Phoenix and everybody freaked out, like, he's here, and I was really high on Wemby going into the season. He's having a lot of games where he's struggling, so, I know Scoot got off to a really, really bad start, and some people now want to trade him and this and that, like, just have some patience, like every rookie, even Wemby, who's going to be, in my opinion, one of the best players of all time, potentially. Even he's going to go through some rookie struggles. So Scoot's going to have his fair share too. Just hopefully he continues to improve once he gets back. Hopefully he can get healthy. You got the Nets beating the Magic 124-104, 29 points, 9 assists from Spencer Dinwiddie. You got the Pacers getting revenge on the Sixers, who they just played 132-126. Pacers moved to 7-4. Sixers fall to 8-2. Tyrese Halliburton, 33 points, 15 assists, 7 rebounds. For the Sixers, Joel Embiid had 39 points. D'Anthony Melton had 30 points. Tyrese Maxey had 27. So that's their big three. Speaking of the Sixers, Thursday is the planned upload day for the next episode of Out the Mud with Philly Take with RB, Paul Reed, and the guest this week is Nick Nurse. So I'm looking forward to editing that. Just got the footage, so editing that after the stream. So
yeah, go check that out.
Yep, link to that channel should be in the description box below. It's not in the description box below. Just go to Hog Media on YouTube. Hog Media. I will drop a link in the description box below and in the live chat. Let me get it real quick. Do you have box scores up, Eric? Do you want to cover the next game?
Sure. The Hawks beat the Pistons. Osir had 21 and 8. He's looking really nice. But 32 points from DeJounte Murray. I don't think Trae Young played in this game. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he did not play. Duran did not play either for the Pistons. It's always a bummer when he doesn't play because their bigs are kind of frustrating outside of him. Cade was 4 for 14, only had 9 points, 12 assists. So yeah, not a great game for him. Marvin Bagley did have 22 points on 9 of 12 shooting, but wasn't enough to beat the Hawks.
Yep, and then the other game that's gone final is the Heat beating the Hornets 111-105. The Heat are 7-4. They've gotten back on track there in Miami. And it's because Duncan Robinson, have you seen, like, all of a sudden, he's somebody that can score off the dribble, even on Wemby. All of a sudden, Duncan Robinson is a shot creator. And in this game, Eric, he started, played 36 minutes, had 18 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists.
Well, Jaime Jaquez has also been playing. I think he's played pretty much every minute of the fourth quarter in their 4-game winning streak. And it's pretty rare for a Spoelstra team. and he's been playing really well and being a key part of that. And Jimmy Butler had his best game of the season as well with 32 points. Haywood Highsmith also 5 steals. He was everywhere defensively in this one.
Hawk has 17 points, 17 points, 5 rebounds, 8 for 13 from the field for the rookie that the Blazers could have maybe had, but we're past that. There are a couple games going on right now. You got the Lakers blowing out the Grizzlies 107-80. You got the Timberwolves beating the Warriors with 28 seconds left. The Timberwolves are up 99-98. Did you see the brawl at the beginning of this game, Eric? What is your breakdown? I'm sure the people were waiting for this. What is your breakdown on the brawl to start this game?
My breakdown is obviously Draymond Green was hunting for a reason to choke out Rudy Gobert, and Rudy Gobert looked like he was a fake tough guy. Once he got put in a headlock, he looked like he wanted no part of that, was scared to death once he got about what was going to happen to him once he was in that headlock. See, no one got hurt, so no real punches were thrown or anything, I don't think. So I think it's kind of funny and fun. But Draymond's going to get suspended, which is good for us, right? Because Curry's out now, might be missed a few games, and with a sprained knee, and now Draymond probably gonna get suspended. Clay got kicked out of this game, which is good for your Mojo fantasy pick
talk
today.
About my Mojo picks in a second.
But yeah, Gobert was just standing there, and Draymond just runs up to him and puts him in his head. That was
just so weird, so random. Like, it wasn't even. I was thinking, I heard Draymond put Gobert in a headlock. I'm like, and then I see the shot go up, and I see them boxing each other out. I'm like, oh, it's gonna happen here, but then it doesn't happen, and then it starts somewhere else, and it's like Clay and McDaniels. I'm like, what? It's not Draymond or Rudy Gobert, and then all of a sudden Draymond has Gobert in a headlock. It was just very baffling. It took me multiple times to watch it. I was still confused. So we'll see if Draymond gets suspended. The Warriors right now down 102-98. 102-98. Unfortunately, Anthony Edwards only got 4 rebounds right now. I took the over on 5.5, so it looks like that's not going to pan out. Yeah, he's up to 4.
I just checked for you a minute ago, and he was still at 2. So
he decides to rebound now. So I was hoping this game would go OT, but I don't think I need him. I think I still win regardless, because I'll look over my picks in a second, because things were pretty good for me tonight. But there is one more game going on right now, and that is the Clippers and the Nuggets. This is also a close game. 15 seconds left. The Nuggets are up 109-108. The Nuggets just lost to the Houston Rockets. We'll see if they can get their revenge. Jokic, or not their revenge, because they're playing the Clippers now, but we'll see if they can bounce back. Jokic, 30 points, 16 rebounds, 9 assists. Paul George, 35 points. Paul George looking good for me, man, because I took him in Mojo Fantasies. So Mojo Fantasies, our newest sponsor, okay? They are a brand new daily fantasy app, and their product works like a sports stock market. So basically, each player prop is a stock. So, for example, Paul George, over 22.5 points, is a stock. You buy it for a price between $0 and $1, and then the price fluctuates based on how well that player is doing. So, Paul George had a hot start to this game. That means the price of the prop went up. You can buy and sell props in the middle of games. It's the only daily fantasy app where you can buy and sell player props in the middle of a game. So it's a completely unique take on daily fantasy, and it's kind of cool to see they basically have stock charts for every prop, and you can see how the price fluctuates over the course of a game, and there's a lot of strategy. There's a giant strategy element to Mojo Fantasy that makes it completely unique and a ton of fun. So these are my picks that I took today. I took the over 22.5 points for Paul George. He hit that. He had 35. I took over 1.5 threes for Nikola Jokic. He hit that. He is 2 for 7 from 3. I took the under 4.5 threes on Klay Thompson, Eric, and he got ejected in the first couple of minutes. So let's go. That one was a great one. And then I took the over 5.5 rebounds on Anthony Edwards. That is looks like it's not going to pan out for me unless the Warriors complete some kind of wild comeback. I think that game might be over at this point. Yeah, Minnesota up 104 98 with 4 seconds left. So I hit on 3 of the 4. Basically, your portfolio based on the prices of your props. You basically put your portfolio up against other people's. There's a couple of different types of contests. So you're basically going up against other people, rooting on for these props to happen. So it's a really cool fantasy app. It's a lot of fun. I had fun seeing if these props would pan out today. And if you guys want to try your hand at it, if you need some extra motivation, we're giving away a signed Anthony Simons jersey. So if you use the link in the description box below, which is our link, to download Mojo Fantasy, and you enter a paid contest, you'll be automatically entered to win this signed Anthony Simons jersey. And then if you use the promo code Uprise as well, you'll get a 100% deposit match up to $100. So if you deposit $100, they'll give you $100 free on top of that to play Mojo Fantasy. So shout out to them for being our newest sponsor. And then if you have any questions about how it works, because it is a unique concept and a unique twist on Daily Fantasy, always feel free to reach out to me to explain it. Maybe reach out to Eric. I don't know. Have you tried it yet?
I have not tried Mojo, but I definitely will in very near future.
Yeah, we'll have to get in the same contest and have our picks up during a watch party. And yeah, the goal is to just make this like fun, interactive, and especially for watch parties to kind of root for over the course of things. And
if you do use Mojo Fantasy, tag us in Discord, tag us on Twitter, or tag Blazers Uprise YT on Twitter. We want to see your picks. Like, let's have fun, share our picks. Maybe we can all find some common ones that we can all win money on. Or, if we're in different contests, we can, pick similar players so we can all root together for them on a particular night. Let's have some fun with it.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to try and do some community-based stuff with Mojo. They got the jersey giveaway going as well. So just a way to make this NBA season more fun. And Mojo Fantasy is your way to do that. So shout out to them for sponsoring us, being a new sponsor. Thank you to Mojo Fantasy. Yeah, link in description, promo code Uprise. Enter a paid contest. You'll be entered to win that Anthony Simons jersey. I'm not going to take it out of the package. Got it off pristine auction. So it is certified, signed Anthony Simons jersey.
I want it.
You want it? Well, you'll be entered to win. Just, no favorites. Mojo is the one who picks the giveaway winner. They do the drawing, so they keep track of it all. So, we'll see who gets it. I'm looking forward to seeing who gets this jersey. But Kevin says, so no more Manta sleep mask? No, that's not true. We just have more than one sponsor this year, which is nice,
Rotating sponsors.
Yeah, rotating sponsors. Smog says he needs that, so I know Smog signed up. Smog's trying to get this signed Anthony Simons jersey, so I think we will also have another giveaway for something else with Mojo as well. So definitely try your hand at it. See if you can have some success like I did tonight in terms of picking Mojo fantasy picks. They got NFL, baseball, and basketball. It's basketball and NFL season right now, so I made some picks on Sunday. Those didn't go too well, but I am better versed in basketball, Eric. I was just like, I don't know what to pick for football. A couple of them went right, but didn't end up working out for me. Basketball, I was far more confident going into today, and it worked out for me.
Nice. Well, you got some experience knowing what not to do by watching Gabe streams.
I heard it did not go well for Gabe today. He took the over on Draymond rebounds, so that brawl helped me and hurt him. So, unfortunate for Gabe. But we're going to be streaming with Gabe a week from today. We got the Suns. That's the fourth and final in-season tournament game, so looking forward to that. We get our in-season tournament games out of the way early this year compared to other teams. Like, I think we get it all 4 out of the way as early as anyone. So we got one on Friday and then one on next Tuesday. So we got Lakers on Friday. We got the Cavs tomorrow. So I'm going to the game tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
Don't know what we're doing as far as content. Don't know if you want to try running a post-game stream, Eric, or maybe Crushables is around. We'll figure something out after the stream. But yeah, I think I'm gonna just end up taking tomorrow off. I got a lot of work to do, and then I just need to get out of my freaking house and go to a game. So I got a free ticket, so couldn't turn it down.
Awesome,
so,
yeah.
We'll see what it's looking like tomorrow, but then we got another game on Friday.
Yeah, I got you.
Cool. Cool.
We got a stream on Thursday as well.
Yep, we got you guys covered.
Little Scrappy says, how do you guys know it's signed by Simons? It is an officially certified jersey. Tori made sure to get one that was authenticated. So yeah, it's legit.
Yeah. So basically, like in Hog Media, I know I haven't talked a ton about Hog Media, that logo down there in the bottom left. So we got a collection of creators and the network, the Hog Media network. I help run and manage it and do a bunch of things for it. But basically we have multiple sponsors, some for certain creators, some for other creators. So we work with a bunch of different sponsors for creators. It's helped out get sponsorship on this channel. Just being a part of a wider network. But there's this place called Pristine Auction. We didn't have an ad read for them, but it's a certified auction house for signed memorabilia, cards, collectibles. So it's all certified, and we had a few creators with a Pristine Auction sponsorship, so I just used their sponsorship code essentially, and got the giveaway stuff that Mojo is so kind to give us a little bit of money for. So shout out to them. So yeah, that's basically how all that worked, and yeah, it's certified as Pristine Auction, so it is definitely legitimate. Wouldn't do anything that's not legitimate, so. Taylor Packer says, hey, Tori, I saw you announce working with the game. Congrats, by the way. Are you actually going to be on air ever, or is it a different position? So basically the deal is I'm going to be writing twice a week for 750 The Game, which is a local radio station here in Portland. Could get opportunities to go on air. We'll see. I'm not necessarily set on trying to land a radio show. It's just another way for me to work during the season, basically, and just kind of grind out this Blazers season and get my foot in the door and just see what comes of it. Work on my skills as a writer. That's a good thing to do. So nothing's gonna change here or anything, but could get some on air opportunities. It's just different going on the radio. I still get a little nervous going on the radio. It's completely different than just setting up my own stream and everything's on, our terms, Eric, and it's our thing, and we can sit here and we can cuss, right? If we really wanted to, which we don't. I'm kind of glad that I don't have that habit, So.
I mean, I have that habit, but I don't do it very often on air, so I'm glad about that too.
Yeah, I have my my entertainer voice and then my normal voice, but I used in high school, college, I used to cuss too much in just day-to-day conversations. So I've gotten better with that. Part of that is YouTube has helped me get better with that. Helped me learn how to talk like a adult. So, but yeah, we'll be writing twice a week, so it'll just be kind of some featured stuff, opinionated stuff. And shout out to Steven, he helped me get that. So I know Steven drives some of you guys crazy, but he's a really good dude and he's helped me out already. So, I know some of his opinions drive all of us crazy, but yeah, he's a good dude. So I appreciate him for helping set that up.
Mm-hmm.
So appreciate the love. A lot of people were super supportive of that, which is cool, man. It's cool to see. I didn't think people were gonna be so excited for me,
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, congrats, man. That's
thanks, awesome. Appreciate it. Yeah. So that was cool to see. That meant a lot. I appreciate all of you that are supportive of the channel, supportive of us. And yeah, we'll see where it goes. I just wish the team was good. that's the only thing we have left. Eric and Crushables have been crushing it with their podcast. They dropped an episode earlier today. So if you want to go check it out after the stream. Check it out tomorrow. They do really good stuff that's not 100% time dependent. So if you're a couple days late, they touch upon many different things that are still intriguing. It's not a pregame video like I will do, and then after the game starts, it's kind of pointless to watch. So definitely go check out their work. It's just all the stuff we're doing, man. The watch parties, postgame shows. If this team was good, man, it'd be, it'd be dope. And basically, it's at this point
still
where
fun, but yeah,
it's still fun. Yeah, and that's where I was man, you remember last offseason where I was I'm going to be doing a bunch next season. We're going to be doing more than ever. I want the team to be good for it. Yeah. unfortunately, we didn't get that. But when this team is finally good one day, we're going to be way up. We're going to be all the way up.
We won those 3 games in a row. We're getting, 4 times the people that are in here right now. But...
Yeah, exactly. So, I get it. Like, the fan base is more checked out than ever. Yeah, we got a comment from Javon. Is it Javon? Make sure I say your name right. Let me know if I say it wrong. Javon?
Pretty sure it's Javon, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Says, I just want to say I'm not one to listen to podcasts, but I love listening to Hoops Crush. So Eric and Crush, you guys are doing something right. Yeah, you guys got a good flow to your podcast. Javon. Okay, cool. Yeah, you guys got a good, mine and Steven's podcasts are definitely different. And that was kind of the goal, to have a different dynamic between these podcasts. So it's, each of them is unique in its own way. And yeah, like we'll be ready to go once this team is good. That's going to be our content. And if this team was a contender and all the streams were popping, we'd be doing watch parties for every game right now. It's tough with how bad the team is struggling. But, the goal, little secret for the 110 of you in here, the goal is in the future to have an app. I have talked to somebody who knows how to develop apps. It's quite a cost, but the goal in the future is to be able to have a Blazers Uprise app that you can listen to the audio for podcasts, watch videos in, and maybe we'll have some extra stuff just for within the app. But the whole goal is to build this out as much as possible in the future. Unfortunately, it is very dependent upon how the team goes, but we'll keep doing our best and putting our best foot forward. So,
yep.
Like, I know a lot of you have been here since the early days, so I want you guys to feel like invested in the growth of the platform, and in a way, because you guys have seen it go from nothing to what it is now if you've been here a while. So, that's kind of the goal, is to go as far as we can go. Anyway, not to get too sentimental in a 16-point loss, but yeah. Anyway, a day in the life of Eric Brandt. Yeah, we'll have a day in the life of me, of Eric, of Stephen Vaughn.
One of those behind the scenes documentaries. Just follow us around all day at the camera.
That'd be sick, man. Yeah, just get a sponsor to pay for it. Have a sponsorship on it. Get them to pay for the production because we're big enough by then. Because that's how a lot of those things work. Yeah, that'd be sick. Anything else you want to cover from this game before we seen it go from something to nothing to what it is now? Oh man, I hate you, Trevin. I hate you.
Well, we didn't really talk about this much. What do you think of the decision to start Tamani in this game?
Kind of weird because Matisse just had his best game.
Yeah,
but whatever. Like, I guess I kind of get it in a way, but I think Tamani is just as good as Matisse. Like Matisse got cooked today off the dribble multiple times.
It was horrible on defense.
We need to trade him as soon as possible. Which, here's the thing. If his defensive reputation is still like, oh, he's an all-NBA caliber defender, all-defensive team caliber defender, and he's shooting the ball at 39%, then we should be able to get something back for him, I would think. Just say, in negotiations, yeah, we wanted to prioritize the development of our young players like a Tamani Kamara. Matisse is shooting 38% from 3, and in this game, what did he shoot?
2 for 5, 40%.
So, yeah, he's close to 40%. That was the knock, is he couldn't shoot. Now, in a Portland uniform, he's a 38%er. He was 38.8% last year. He's probably exactly that right now. He was 38.2 going into this game. So the defense plus that 3-point shooting should be able to sell a team on that, which would make matching the right decision, I guess, even though I didn't really want to. But I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see what they do with Thibault as much as it's gonna be interesting to see what they do with Grant. Because even when Thibault plays well, it's not like they played him in the fourth quarter last game and then they don't start him this game. So it's gonna be interesting to see, especially when there was the rumors that he didn't want to come back to Portland. He wanted to end up in Dallas. He didn't want Portland to match. Who knows how legitimate those rumors are or not, but I have a gut feeling that Matisse Thybulle's not going to be on the team at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Crap, I forgot to set up my predictions board. I still need to find those Post-it notes. I thought I had them somewhere.
I mean, that's a pretty good guess. I mean, a lot of teams need a guy like that at the deadline, so even if you just get it expiring in some seconds, basically recoup what you gave up for him, I think that's probably what they need to do, especially if they're a little healthier with their guards and stuff by that time.
Yeah, it'll just be fun if predictions get wrong to take the Post-it note off and rip it. So I over like the Blazers play one game in 6 days. Like I kind of used that time to recuperate a little bit because I was getting burnt out. But during that time, I also thought of like how can we make content more fun. So if this season continues to fully go off the rails, we will have more like little segments and little stuff on the side that'll be just entertainment stuff for you guys to remain entertained if the team sucks. That's kind of the goal now, is just to entertain you guys, give you guys a place to hang out. So we're definitely going to hone in on that if this season continues to go completely off the rails, which is what it looks like right now.
And real quick for the record, Thibault does have a no trade clause this season due to us matching his contract, but I don't think
is that the goal, to get him to just waive it for anyone?
Maybe, but I can't see many scenarios that he would turn it down for, would he?
No, I don't think so. I think if you trade him to a winning team where he's going to play, he'll take it.
Mm-hmm.
Trade him back to Philadelphia. I don't know. Maybe Nick Nurse wants him. Maybe.
They have the expirings.
Mm-hmm. And expiring in a second is like my expectations for him. If you can get back 2 seconds and just recoup the value you gave up to get him at the trade deadline last year, which that trade still just made no sense to me at all, then cool. Taylor says, LMAO, can you imagine Cronin telling Billups to make him miserable so he waives the no-trade clause? Yeah. Dude, we haven't talked about Cronin at all lately, man. I wonder, I mean, the whole thing is the team's injured and Chauncey sucks. Like, he's not going to take any heat for this season going off the rails, but I am curious to hear from him around the trade deadline after he blows things up. Like, it's probably just going to be a bunch of BSGM talk, but I don't know. It's kind of like, this is the longest we haven't focused on him in a long time.
Yeah.
If he blows it up, yeah.
Or kind of stuck in that period where there's not much action around the league until December 15th or beyond because players aren't really eligible that signed in the offseason. And a lot of them this year is January 15th due to the way they signed. So we still have, tomorrow will be a month until most of the NBA is tradable. And then there's like 20 to 30 players, I think, that aren't eligible until January 15th. And then it's fully into that period where you just have a few weeks until the trade deadline.
Yeah. So, looking forward to it, man. Looking forward to just seeing where this season goes. Shout out to Dro, $2 donor, says Sharpe has played 40 minutes in the last 6 games. I think it means 40 minutes a game. Yeah, Sharpe's playing way too much, Dro. Appreciate the Drono. Man, it's been a minute since I got to say it. Drono, man. Thank you.
We might actually have a Bulls teardown too, Tori.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. So,
mutually, they said that, I think it was Shams today, said that there was mutual interest between both Levine and the Bulls to possibly move on.
I would like for it to wait until trade deadline day so we can have a fun trade deadline stream. Because I'm already thinking about like trade deadline stream at this point, even though it's 3 months away. Like I want Crushables on that with us. I want, maybe we'll get a 4th. It would be cool. Some of the creators I know now to do a couple of little interviews. Like I'm trying to build that out more than we've done trade deadline streams in the past. Because that is really where the channel pops off a bit. So yeah. But if you guys have feedback for content or things we could do or things that we should change, just reach out to us. We're trying to figure out the best way to navigate through what is going to be a tough season. So anything we can do to make our stuff more entertaining, make our content better, all ears. Absolutely all ears. As long as it's not you just completely hating on us, as long as it's something constructive that we can, take and improve something with it. We are 1,000% all ears. So let me know. Reach out to me on Twitter. DM me on Discord. There's a link in the description. Tons of ways to reach out to us. Appreciate it. What are you saying?
Joey says tankathon before you sign
let's do that. Let's do it, Eric. Tankathon.com. The Blazers are 6th. We are still not worse than the Clippers. So, now at least we have a future. Because they don't. They are struggling. All right. Let's see here.
Super, I know it's probably a joke, but I would take Lonzo Ball for shipping someone like Brogdon out and setting an expiring contract to the Bulls so we can get our own pick back and taking on Lonzo's contract. I'd do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. This is what it looks like. Right now, Golden State's pick is 15th, so Portland, 6th and 15th picks. You'll love to see it. And also the 35th pick. And who's that pick from? Is the best of who?
I think it was like Charlotte and someone else. I'll look real quick while you're running the sim.
Charlotte and... Yeah, I think it's Charlotte and someone else for sure. I think it's Charlotte and Minnesota.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. And so Charlotte, if they're worse, I mean, that's good for that second round pick too. Anyway, you got Detroit with the worst record, 2-10. Blazers only 2 games out of the worst record. But you got Detroit, Washington, Memphis, San Antonio, the Clippers, Portland. I expect Portland to be...
Yeah, it's Charlotte or Minnesota.
I expect Detroit, Washington, San Antonio, and Portland to be bottom 4. I don't know in what order, but I expect that to be the bottom 4 at the end of the season. Houston could always make their way down, but they've been good lately, so they're 6-3. So let's simulate this thing, scroll up from the bottom like we normally do. You got Toronto's pick going to San Antonio, Orlando, New Orleans, Cleveland, Phoenix. Chicago moves down 1 spot. I don't know who moves up. If you can pull up Tankathon, Eric, you could let me know who is at 9.
All right, let me look. It was Utah.
Utah, god dang it. Taking L's to Utah today. At 8 is Charlotte. At 7, this is supposed to be the Blazers. It is your Portland Trail Blazers. At 6 is the Clippers to OKC. At 5 is Detroit. Detroit gets screwed again and moves down 4 spots again to 5. Just
7
like last
for
year.
the second straight night.
Yep.
Or second straight Tankathon sim, I should say.
Mm-hmm. 4th is Washington. 3 is San Antonio. 2 is Utah. And 1 is Memphis. Memphis probably takes Ron Holland.
Oh, did you see Holland last night?
I saw some of the plays where he struggled.
He had 11 turnovers and I think 8 points or something, 11 turnovers.
Yeah, I saw
and they lost by 50 something.
Yeah. So, Eric, I saw some of those plays and it's I felt like, oh, I should be questioning him like I've been questioning him. I don't know. There's something with him that bothers me as a prospect. Mm-hmm. I think he's smaller than his listed height. He doesn't have elite burst. He doesn't have an elite handle. He's not some absolutely elite shooter. I don't know. I haven't watched a ton of them. But what I've seen, just based off eye tests, he does not look like a guy who should be considered to go number 1 in a draft. And then seeing some of those plays, I know he had a couple impressive plays last night, an impressive step back 3, but 11 turnovers, bro. Watching some of his struggles last night, some of the clips I saw, is just I do not see it. Like, I see why he's a good prospect and why people like him. He just has so many red flags to me. And I also don't trust the G League Ignite. Like, we've seen a lot of prospects get hyped up with the G League Ignite and then come into the league, and, like, Jalen Green has had a couple impressive performances this year, but he hasn't really lived up to where he was drafted. A lot of G League guys haven't really fully lived up to their expectations coming into the league. Maybe they just need more time, like a Kuminga, right?
Don't say that, though.
Yeah. I mean, the hope is Scoot is better than all of them, but, you know, Scoot comes in, he struggles. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't get it with Ron Holland. I also don't get it with Buzelis either. And then, did you see Justin Edwards today? Did you see his stat line?
No.
I checked late in that game. It was Kansas and Kentucky, and he was 0 for 6.
Oh, yeah. I have that game recorded. I'm going to watch it tomorrow.
Yeah. Point. So, do you want me to spoil his stat line at the end of the game?
You can, yeah. I'll just tune out for a second.
Yeah. Justin Edwards today, 29 minutes, 0 for 6, 1.4 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 turnovers, 0 for 3 from 3. He's another guy that's projected at the top of this year's draft. The top of this year's draft is not good. Alex Sarr right now is my number 1 prospect.
I tried to watch some of the UConn game, but Stephon Castle wasn't playing, and it was just they were playing Mississippi Valley State from our boy Jerry Rice's alma mater. And yeah, it was not a fun game to watch.
Yeah. Yikes. USC is losing to UC Irvine with 3 minutes left. They're down 3, and USC is ranked 16th in the nation. You've had a lot of upsets to start the season. It's going to be a crazy season in college basketball. Isaiah Collier, I think Isaiah Collier and Alex Sarr, I haven't watched enough of Collier, but just based on my early impressions, Sarr and Collier are my top 2 prospects right now. But this is a perfect year for a guy to, like, rise out of nowhere, like, kind of, like, a little bit like Brandon Miller did. Like, he was on radars, but he looked as a mid-first round pick, not a second overall pick. This is the year for a guy to rise like Brandon Miller did, or maybe a few guys. So, Collier right now, 6 for 16, 11 for 13 from the free throw line, has 23 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 assist, with 6 turnovers for a point guard prospect against UC Irvine. You know, it's early in the season, so whatever, but
yep.
This year's draft it's early. I don't think it's going to be a good draft. I don't think this is one of those drafts where we're saying it's bad now and then we come around on it. I just feel like closer to draft time, we're still saying this is a bad draft. But I could be absolutely wrong. That is something for the predictions board, maybe. But, yeah. I'm all in on Alex Sarr.
Yeah, me too.
We can agree on prospect. Let's go. You love to see it.
We agreed on Scoot and 1B last year.
Yeah. But, I mean, everybody did, right? Like, that was pretty much consensus, so. Anyway. Anything else?
Thanks, everyone, for watching. Hope to see you on the postgame show tomorrow night. And, hopefully Blazers can pull out a win against the Caps.
Yep, we'll have you covered on the postgame show, or at least Eric will. I probably will take tomorrow off, but then I would see you again on Thursday on our second channel and Friday with Lakers postgame. So stay tuned for everything. Thank you to everyone for tuning in tonight. Thank you to Braden and Dro for donating. Thank you to Sam Dooley for his member message. Appreciate you guys. And with that being said, we are out of here. If you had any questions that we failed to answer, catch us Thursday. Tomorrow for Eric, or Thursday for Blazers Uprise Live on our second channel. Ask your questions there, and we will try our best to get to them. Anyway, that's it. We're out of here. Shout out to Mojo Fantasy. Win this Anthony Simon signed jersey. Link in the description box below. Enter a paid contest. Use the promo code Uprise for a 100% deposit match. And with that being said, we're out of here. We'll catch you next time. Until then, as always, peace out.